Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoy. I nearly died when I worked in a fire tower. Now I guard windmills, and I'm not sure if I'll survive the shift. Part 4. I fishtailed, spewing dirt as the tires fought to gain traction. Once I straightened out, I got as much speed as I could, bumping around so much I worried about the suspension and the tires. Anything that stopped this truck would be the death of me. I felt pretty good about outrunning the creature when I saw something terrible in front of me. I slammed on the brakes and slid to a stop right in front of two boulders sitting in the middle of the road. They were spaced far enough apart that I couldn't just swerve around. I had to pick a side with more room and go slowly around, nearly scraping trees as I went. I had just made it around when something crashed into the back of the truck, sending it flying forward. I looked back and the tailgate was crumpled. There was a boulder lying on the ground besides the other two that hadn't been there a minute ago. I jumped on the gas pedal as a boulder landed right in front of me. I wrenched the wheel to the right, feeling the metal scrape against the side of the truck. But I refused to take my foot off the gas. The scraping got louder. I knew this was it. He would catch up to me and I would die a horrible death. And then the scraping stopped and the truck lurched forward. I was free. I built up a little speed and then started swerving back and forth on the road in case he tried to throw another boulder. I counted to 20. I counted to 20 before letting off the gas. Sweat dripped from my forehead. I wiped my sweaty hands on my pants. My hands were stiff from holding the wheel so tightly. I kept my speed up, not wanting to give him any chance to catch up to me as I bounced down the road. I turned a corner and slammed on the brakes. It was impossible. He was standing in the middle of the road in front of me. How could he have gotten here first? He stared at me and bared his teeth. For an instant, I thought about turning around, but I was almost to the end of my round, and going back meant guiding my truck back through a deadly obstacle course. With nothing left to do, I floored it and drove straight at him. If I was going to die, I was going to do my best to take him with me. He stood motionless as I gained speed just before I got there. He jumped. I watched as he landed behind the truck and turned on a dime to follow behind. I was gaining speed, but it wasn't enough. He grabbed my tailgate and pulled against. For a moment I felt the truck slow, but then the tailgate broke free and left him holding the figurative bag. He ran behind, throwing the tailgate at me. I ducked just in time as it smashed through the rear window and kept going through the front windshield. I peeked back only to see him chasing again. I tried to gain more speed. It was more difficult, covered in glass, each bounce in the road now making pieces of glass cut into me. It was also difficult seeing with no windshield to protect my eyes and pieces of glass flying toward me from the remains of the windshield. I held up my hand to try to shield my eyes. As I did, I noticed I was slowing down. I pressed the gas pedal harder but seemed to slow even more. I turned to find the creature holding the bed of the truck and digging its feet into the road to slow me down. I got my phone and recorded him holding the truck back for a few moments. At least whoever found the destroyed truck would know what happened to me. I resigned myself to my fate. I let off the gas and allowed the truck to stop. He released the back and started climbing into the bed. I was moments from death. I looked down at my phone and pressed record, then grabbed the flashlight, switched it to strobe, and shone it in his face. He put his arms up to shield his eyes. I slammed the truck in drive and jumped on the gas. The creature rolled head over heels out of the bed as I sped away. I hit the parking lot doing 45 and nearly crashed into the boss as he drove up to the building. I skidded to a stop and put the truck in park. Right behind the boss was the other guard. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" the boss said, glaring at me. "Surviving," I said as I turned the engine off and tossed him the keys through the missing windshield. For the first time, he noticed the condition of the ruined truck. "What happened to my truck?" he said. "I don't know," I said sarcastically. "Maybe it was the giant creature chasing me that you neglected to mention." His eyes went wide and his jaw dropped open. "I have no idea what you're talking about," he said, regaining his composure. "I figured you wouldn't," I said as the other guard walked up to us. "Take a look at this." I opened my phone and played the video of the creature pulling the truck to a stop. They both watched in shock until the video ended. I put my phone in my pocket and looked at each of them. "Both of you want me to keep working here, correct?" I said. They nodded. "Here's my terms. A double in pay, taser, pepper spray, heavy firearms, upgraded trucks." "Is that it?" the boss said sarcastically. "No, I want you to hire a cryptid hunter to come in today and capture or kill that thing." "I have no idea how to get a hold of," the boss said. "Those are my terms." "Give it to him, or I'll quit too," the other guard said. The boss looked back and forth between us like he was watching a tennis match. "Fine, I'll get what you want," he said, throwing his hands in the air. I smiled and shook his hand, then walked to my car. "Oh, one more thing," I said. "You might want to have a bulldozer clear the road." The boss looked towards the trees as I drove away. I prayed he would do all I asked. I couldn't go back there knowing that thing was waiting for me. The end. Thanks for taking the time to listen to one of my videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.